Hi, my name is Julia Chelaru, and I'm the Regional Director of LMRE Canada. For those new to LMRE, we are a global recruitment agency focused on placing amazing talent into the PropTech and real estate industries. We're extremely fortunate to work alongside VCs in the PropTech ecosystem to help scale their portfolios and their own teams. So we wanted to take this opportunity to really spotlight some of our friends to learn more about their business, their portfolios, and get their advice for those looking to access the VC world from both a capital and talent perspective. So very happy today to be joined by Deena Pantalone, founder and managing partner at Venturon, and Joanna, the director of operations and general counsel at Venturon. Hi both, how are you today?
Great, how are you?
Thanks. Very, very well. All right, so maybe we'll start with you, Deena. Can you kick us off with an introduction into your professional background and what you do at the firm?
Great. About 5 years ago, I became fascinated with the potential for technology to make breakthroughs in our industry, because our industry is made up of a very old world type of thinking. So I founded Venturon, but my history and background comes from a long lineage of real estate professionals and group of companies where I'm a managing partner in a low-rise housing company, urban development company, and an industrial commercial portfolio that we manage here in Canada and the United States. But we're talking about Venturon today. So as I mentioned, I became fascinated and in the world of technology and was starting to focus on the inefficiencies and where I could bridge the world of technology to the built world and recognize opportunities with tech companies in understanding where they solved real problems in the industry to become more efficient, and not only looking at it from the operational side, but as the the opportunity in the investment side. And Venturon's a Canadian investment group, a small capital group of real estate developers and property owners. We work with the capital group on educating and providing them with investment opportunities. 2 years ago, I brought on my general counsel and director of operations, Joanna, and I'll let Joanna introduce herself.
Hi guys, so happy to talk with you today. I joined Venturon in September of 2019 as the general counsel and director of operations. I've known Deena forever, and we started talking in the summer of that year, and I was really excited about what she was doing in the PropTech space and thought this is a great opportunity to get involved. In my prior life, I was a corporate and securities lawyer on Bay Street at Goodman's LLP, and after that, I co-founded a SaaS platform in the dry cleaning and laundry industry and did that for a number of years. And once I got to Venturon, I have both a legal and a business role, and I advise on a wide range of legal matters. But for the most part, and to be honest, the best part of the job, I get to manage our deal flow, review the investment opportunities, and do extensive diligence on any possible targets. And that's the part I find most exciting at the firm.
That's amazing. And thank you so much. You guys have such a colorful background and obviously it's such deep experience in the industry. So thank you for joining us again today. I guess as the next question, we meet and work with many early stage PropTech companies who are looking to grow and like to also make introductions to VCs where there's a fit. So that said, maybe Joanna, can you tell us more about Venturon's investment thesis and at what stage you normally invest in companies?
Sure, that's a great question and starting point. So we typically make investments in seed and Series A stages. And obviously there's some anomalies to that, but generally that's where we find we can make the most impact and bring the best experience to the group. In addition, we've also followed on our portfolio's funding round. So that's when we've invested in later stages. Is typically as our companies grow, we participate in later stages. And right now to date, that's only been Series B rounds, but we'll continue to review and evaluate each of our companies and see if it makes sense for us to continue investing in later stages. Generally, we focus our investments in North America. It's the market we have the most experience in and understand. That's not to say we wouldn't invest in a company from another region, but it would have to be a very compelling argument for us to step out of our regional focus. And finally, the verticals that we focus on, we sort of reevaluated at the start of COVID, but typically we've stayed the course, and our strategy at the end of 2009 has seemed to follow through COVID pretty well. And those areas are construction and housing, environmental and social governance, industrial technology, think last mile solutions and logistics, and building management systems generally.
That's amazing. And Deena, curious to know, obviously, as the founder of the company, can you tell us a little bit more about the companies that you've invested in to date?
Invested in a number of companies to date, and we're currently looking to deploy capital. A couple of them that I'd like to highlight and I'm super excited about are ThoughtWire, Second Closet, and Electric. ThoughtWire is a Toronto-based company. They're doing amazing things in the space of smart building and smart community space. ThoughtWire is essentially, think of it as like the neural network, the brain, the controls of the entire operations of a building. So they're controlling all the assets, the building, the entire smart community envelope. They're really changing the game in the digital world around the digital twin technology, and have partnered with a few strategics, Schneider Electric in the United States, which has about 40% of all of the US healthcare buildings, Hamilton Health Services here in Canada, as well as Oxford Properties. And we're super excited to watch what they do next. Second Closet. So Second Closet is also a Canadian-based company. We're a last mile logistics company that offer world-class technology platform in cataloging and managing the whole operations of moving. It's their platform integrates with very complex ERPs, and they have an incredible CEO, a really bright guy who I love and adore, Mark Ang. He's really smart and driven, and has proven that he can really lead this company as it grows. Their current customers include WeWork, Joanna. Last week they just finished their deal with IKEA, Chanel, and Endy. The last company is Electric. So Electric is a company out of the United States that we invested in spring of 2020. They're from California. They're a smart home battery solutions. They also have grown into creating and managing microgrids within the communities and virtual power plants in individual homes in low-rise houses, as well as vertical communities. The team's exceptional. They're really doing some really cool stuff in the smart home energy management marketplace. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that, as well as you're seeing the growing market here in Canada. I mean, I always like to say that to Joanna, like sort of what's old in our industry that we heard about solar, battery, microgrids 15 years ago. The cost for a developer to start to implement this type of technology within a community is becoming more affordable, as well as the demand by the demographic, the purchaser, the end user.
No, that's amazing. And it's funny because like I didn't actually know that you guys invested in Second Closet, and I've just, obviously they've raised, I think, their Series B as of a couple of months ago. And it's awesome to see, again, people supporting their growth in Canadian VCs as well, just continuously investing in companies that are Canadian based as well. All right, so I guess for the next question, Joanna, like it seems that Deena mentioned a lot team and how they pick companies, but I'm curious to understand, like, how do you go about evaluating possible portfolio companies?
Well, we always start by asking ourselves, the first question is, are they solving a real problem? What is the pain point they're addressing, and how do they plan to fix it? Because we don't want to create tech, we don't want to create a problem and then solve it. We need to solve problems that actually exist in the industry. So we have a lot of experience, as Deena mentioned, in real estate development in our back office at National Home. So we really and truly understand the market problems that we're facing. So once they pass that initial sniff test or gut check test that there's a real problem, they understand the problem, now they're going about trying to solve it, we start our more extensive diligence process. I don't think we're doing anything groundbreaking by we look at the team and their commitment and their experience and the product market fit and all that sort of regular diligence stuff. But we do an extensive market mapping of the competitive landscape, looking at legacy players, competitors that they've identified in that space, and anyone else that we think maybe in a fintech marketplace that is going to bridge into PropTech, and if they're going to, come into that space. So we really look at the landscape with a wide lens and see what we're up against realistically in terms of funding and product development. And then we may even do, focus groups. We'll do demos with all of the competitors. We will do workshops because we have, a back office full of consultants, engineers, and homeowners that we have access to. We can really dig deep and find, that non-tangible information that really helps us differentiate ourselves from our competitors in the marketplace. And we're a bespoke firm that makes a few investments each year. So we can really take our time and do our diligence before we deploy capital. There's no gun to our head to make investments every quarter. So we really are conscientious and decisive when we deploy capital.
Yeah.
So we have decades of relationships with players in the quote unquote built world. So we're good at working with our portfolio companies in assessing the product market fit and where the obstacles are going to be when they are looking for distribution channels. So we pile all that together and then decide to make an investment or not.
Yeah, and see exactly where you can help the most. I like the fact that you're bringing so many perspectives around the table, because eventually, when you have an investment, you'll be able to actually support them through, as you say, that with distribution, which is such a massive thing for early stage startups. So I guess, if we were to switch a little bit the topic from capital to talent, I'm curious because we get a lot of candidates that are looking to get into the PropTech VC space. So Deena, maybe can you take us, why did you decide to get into the VC world, and what advice would you have for any candidates that are looking to break into the space?
We really support these individuals if they're focus driven in terms of looking at, as Joanna mentioned, real solutions, and the consideration of the barriers to entry, and if they have a format that's sort of the KISS theory, clear path with the solution and integration into the built world. I think that the advice I would give them is everyone has their sort of areas of expertise, right? And it might be obvious to them in terms of a brilliant engineer that comes up with a solution, but they're not clear on who your audience is and how easy it is to onboard the technology. And I think that key is really important, is to listen to what the industry needs, and come up with some very simple, very user-friendly tools in order to slowly start to technology. Now you're seeing that in the built world, certain larger developers and portfolio managers have strategics in their institution that are dedicated to a chief innovation officer or chief innovation investor, which helps because therefore, you're not going up against the grain in terms of educating. So I think that as a early stage tech developer, when I'm looking at business development, and whether you're working with Joanna and I, which help you on a quick, clear path, because we open those doors on the biz dev side and we can speak and bridge the tech and the built world together. But if you don't have that opportunity, then I would be, considering here's the, target market, here's who we're going after, the strategics, how many of them actually have specific people dedicated, because your barrier to entry there will be a lot less than, when you're just running into, let's just say, for example, you're a specific construction tech company going after a specific trade to implement the technology, where those people typically aren't as familiar and they're very intimidated and overwhelmed. Joanna, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to pivot a little bit and say, if we're looking at people that are trying to get into the venture capital world as, a candidate looking for employment at a VC firm, I was a lawyer for a long time and did lots of angel round financings and became really interested in using my skill set to help a business grow and develop, rather than put a deal together from the legal side. And I find it really exciting and intrinsically motivating to meet lots of new companies and see how, I can use my skill set to help them grow to the next stage of their business. So I think from my advice, as someone who didn't take a linear path to venture capital in the PropTech space, is that try and meet as many people as you can in the space, which is clearly very hard with COVID, but hopefully that will be behind us soon. And talk about what you're interested in, because you never know when an opportunity will present itself. Someone's looking to hire, or they know people who are looking for someone with this skill set, because nothing is linear in the business world, and you don't want to close doors that you didn't even know existed. A conversation can go a long way, for sure.
Yeah, no, I like that. Nothing is linear, and it's about seeking the opportunities and seizing them as they come by. So I appreciate that. Okay, and to close us off, I guess, can you tell us a little bit more about what are your objectives for the rest of the year?
Well, I think like everyone, we're looking forward to getting back to whatever they call the new normal, and connecting with our peers in the space and trying to get together, because a lot of venture is about teaming up with other people in the space, so you have enough capital to help these companies grow, and finding out what's new and cool and the next things that people are doing. And we definitely want to make a couple of investments before the end of the year. We really purposely delayed our capital deployment during COVID. And now we're ready to really commit ourselves to finding our next opportunity and see how far we can take a company and ourselves.
Well, that's awesome. And hopefully this video is also going to increase the awareness and people are going to start contacting you. So thank you for your time today, Deena and Joanna, and for diving deeper into the work that you do at Venturon. We definitely wish you good luck and look forward to continuing our work together. And for those looking to stay in touch with Venturon, please check out their website, www.venturon.com, and follow them on their social channels. Thank you and have a great day.
Thanks, Julia.
Yeah.